Oh, hold on. Put it on Botch Club. Help me out. Okay, hang on, guys. I'm sorry. I'll give me a second. We're keeping all of this in, by the way. Jesus. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the best damn professional wrestling podcast on the planet. I, of course, one of your three co-hosts himself, Odin's greatest creation, the gift of this generation, Mr. Perfection himself, Lakota Carter, and I'm here once again with Mr. Eddie Kingston, Mr. John freaking Niffin. And sadly, this week, Art the Clown is not joining us, but actually, he kind of is. He's in the background there. But I got
right there.
Magic Fingers himself, my guy in the chair, the Ned to my Spider-Man, the Peacemaker to my Vigilante, Andrew. And we are doing a special Halloween episode. We are doing our top, well, Drew's doing his top 10. Me and John's doing top 4, and I'm doing top 5. Scariest superstars of all time. So, Drew, kick it off, man. What do you got on your list?
All right. Starting it off, because I am just such a wonderfully crazy person when it comes to horror in general.
Yes.
I had to start the list off. I know you said 5, but when I got to thinking about it, as much as I love horror and as many horror-themed characters as we've had in wrestling, I couldn't just do 5. So I start the list off with Mankind.
Oh.
Because this twisted son of a bitch literally almost died multiple times. He's lost part of his ear. He has lost teeth. We've seen teeth coming out of his nose in some parts. Like, this man was just the ultimate underdog and the just such a twisted individual that I had to have him on my list to start off.
Yeah.
With number 9, I am terrified, completely, pun intended, of snakes.
Oh,
And the first time I
I
saw this man wrestle, I saw him wrestle against Macho Man Randy Savage. And he tied him up into the ropes and pulled the snake out and actually let the snake bite Macho Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being said, my number 9 is Jake the Snake Roberts. And the way I've heard the stories of how this man would prepare for a match, he wouldn't go stretch or anything. He would just take his shirt off. He's already got his blue jeans on. Just have a quick smoke, take a shot. Hey, let's go to work. Like, you all right, you crazy son of a bitch. Number 8, the only woman on my list,
Luna Vachon.
Yeah.
That woman is just, for the role that she was portraying, oh my God, she was scary. And the fact that I had a neighbor at the time who had no idea who she was, but she almost was her spitting image, doppelganger, whatever you want to say. This woman scared the hell out of me every day. And she was the nicest woman in the world, but just after seeing Luna on TV and then seeing this neighbor next door, I was terrified.
Can we also talk about how attractive Luna Vachon actually was?
Yes, that's the thing. When she took all the makeup off and everything and she showed her true self, it was a completely different person, which is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But just, that woman was gorgeous. She really was.
Yes.
But number 7, and this is probably the most dangerous individual that's on the list, and that is Dexter Lumis. Because that man is truly a psychopath. And if he's not going to be on this list, then we don't deserve to have the list. Because they could write a legit horror movie about this guy's character and he should star in it. He's just that fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So from there we go to number 6, and that is the voodoo man himself, Papa Shango.
Mm-hmm.
And that man just scared the hell out of me as a kid because I was a big fan of 007's Live and Let Die, and seeing the Voodoo Man on there, just and the twistedness of just the way they took Voodoo there,
Ooh, it's hot in
and
here.
then to see it now being on screen weekly, that man just scared me. You never knew how creative he was going to get with that character. So next is The Brood, because the way they brought the vampires to life, the goblet of blood that they took the drink of and spit all over everybody, whatever, that was just the first time you've seen it on TV, and I truly loved it. It was just beautiful for the time they had it, and then to see Edge and Christian go from that to, you know, the superstars they became, but to see their beginnings, that was just perfect. And Gangrel was just twisted, and the way
One of
they
the
just came
coolest
up out of that,
entrances.
yeah, the way they came out of the ground or the stage with the ring of fire and everything, the music and the lights, I loved it. It was just terrifying.
Yeah.
But as we stated before the show, when this man first came out, he was truly just scary. And that was Doink the Clown. Before they made him a joke,
Yes.
because this came out around the same time, or his original character came out around the same time as the original It.
Yep.
And that was if you were a child when that movie came out, you didn't want to leave your house. You were just, you about shit yourself every time you saw anything of a red balloon or a clown of any kind. And then you see Doink's original persona come out, and it just, you wanted to change the channel immediately. You wanted your protector to come over there and help you out, just to make sure you were safe. And that's exactly what he was supposed to do. And then they made him a joke. So it was just, it really was disappointing, but the initial scare that Doink brought was amazing. And now that I'm older, I'm a big fan of clowns, so it works out. But you made an interesting point earlier that you had a moment with my next individual, and that is the boogeyman himself. Because what kind of twisted son of a bitch would actually put the live creatures in their mouth at any time
Yeah.
to fully bring that character to life in all of its potential craziness?
Not to mention that the man ate a growth off of a woman's face.
Yeah, that just.
Awesome.
So, with the last, that was my number 3. I'm going to take a moment to have my honorable mention,
Yep.
because without him, my next, the number 2 and number 1 could not be present. And that is Dan Spivey with his portrayal of Waylon Mercy.
You know what I mean?
And the way he took the Max Cady persona from Robert De Niro and made it to that character
That's so good.
was just perfect.
His
It was
catchphrase,
even though it was
is
short-lived, it was perfect. And it was, if we could do that now for seeing it the first time, it probably would have been a lot better. But when he was doing it, he didn't have the right people to continue the story to make it longer, but it was just so well done. With that being said, my number 2, the Fiend Bray Wyatt. And that, the way that he went from his original, the white trash guy that sat in the chair, the rocking chair, and that was already scary because they were playing mind tricks with you in the first place. But he found a way to take it a step further, and he became the Fiend. And that didn't just take it a step further, it multiplied it by 1,000,000 and truly took it to a further dark side that was just superb. And the fact that my number 1 will not even talk about what he said to him because he's no longer with us is truly saying something. But my number 1 is actually a tie for the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and the Undertaker, because those two were just screaming horror from the beginning. You know, the Undertaker always rises from the dead, coming up out of the grave or the coffin or whatever, and then being set on fire, with Kane, you know, never speaking at first and always having that mask on, and, you know, being able to raise his arms up and slam his arms down, and then the ring post sling him up with the fire or whatever. And then when they threw in the lightning or whatever to go along with it, like they had magical powers and all. It was every kid and teenager's dream to see that kind of stuff for a real person that wasn't a cartoon on TV. And to see, again, the fact that we've talked about this numerous times, when they were on TV at certain points and you're trying to watch wrestling and they were already taking it too far, there was a great chance if your mom and dad walked in, they were going to grab the remote and say, no, hey, we're changing the channel because it's too extreme for you to watch on TV.
Yeah.
So that's the number one. That is how, to me personally, that's the greatest list I could put together for the horror characters we've had in wrestling.
That's a fantastic list. A brilliant list, actually. And I'm actually very impressed with that you were able to list 10 people that I didn't even think of. So kudos to you, man. You put a lot of time and effort into that.
I'm
John,
terrified of
you got
clowns.
4 people you could think
I
of.
don't
Give
like
me a.
them.
Oh,
I added the fifth one. Like I said earlier, there's going to probably be ones that we're going to be piggybacking off each other,
yeah.
but for different reasons.
Yep. All right. So give me your top 5.
All right, now this is that. Now I'm just saying this is in any order because all of them were kind of creepy, you know, being
so you're
young
just
and
naming them off.
yeah. I'm just going to name them off and why I picked them.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna start with Doink because I didn't write him down. I'm gonna start with Doink, and the reason why it's not because of how his character, seeing him in the ring. If you've seen the episode of The Dark Side of the Ring about him, listen to his daughter, listening to his wife and his ex-wife talk about what he turned into. That's what would freak you to fuck out.
Yeah.
The clown thing never really bothered me. So I'm not going to say it was, you know, just him being a clown. I was creeped out. It was just what he turned into. So the other 4 I have, shit. Okay, Papa Shango was my next. The reason, yes, Papa Shango. What got me freaked out about him is, of course, I was young. I was, you know, 9, 10, 11 years old when he had come into the league. But I think the first time I ever seen him was he put a spell on the Ultimate Warrior, and I remember Warrior rolling around the ring vomiting up black crap. So I was kind of like, that's scary, that's weird, you know, because at the time, at that age, we all thought wrestling was real.
Yeah.
Right.
So just seeing something like that, I was like, that's what's going on, you know? The other, let's see, my next one is Kane. Just because, you know, I was already, I think he debuted October of 97.
Yep.
I was 15, but it was still, you know, seeing him come out the way he did, what he looked like, ripping the cage door off. That was kind of scary. And him to continue with that character for 20 plus years was, I mean, you know, of course he became more friendly with the kids. So, you know, after a certain time, they got unscary.
That 2012 run when he came back is one of my fondest memories in wrestling. That whole John Cena feud with Zack Ryder is very, very important to me and very, very special. So,
Dude, I love when he came back with that Predator mask version.
yes,
Where
with
he had the extra mask that came off, and then
with the fucking look like a welding hood.
Yeah,
Exactly
I love
what
that.
I'm talking about. 2012. And I think, like you just said, for him to reinvent the character from 97 to when he lost the mask in 2003 and became this demented, twisted son of a bitch to 2012, where he came back with the mask and was just this vindictive, quiet, soft-spoken demon. Nobody else could do that besides Glenn Jacobs. I don't care. So that's a very good pick.
He's the mayor. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah, well, I think to be honest with you, I think the creepiest I seen him at was when See No Evil came out, and the one thing you didn't say
One of my
around him, the one thing you didn't say around him was May 19th.
Yep.
And I remember taking my grandmother to see that movie after we got matching tattoos.
Yep.
We went and seen it in theaters, and
that night.
and being 24 years old, 25 years old, I think it was. It was kind of a creepy movie.
One of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Yeah, dude, it's so under.
Both of them.
The second one was kind of weird.
The first one's better.
The second one was more of a straight to sci-fi channel type movie, but
Correct.
it was still a good movie. It was a good sequel for what it was.
It's one of my guilty pleasures. That little franchise is very.
Yeah, it really is.
I love it.
My number 2 was also Kane, but it was when he played Isaac Yankem, the dentist.
Ah, yes.
This was early 90s, so I was still early teens. So it was kind of, after seeing him a few times with Lawler, I'm not going to the dentist no more. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my number 1 is also Bray's version of the Fiend. Just the character.
Yeah.
This character in general.
Was fucking flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with the Fiend, I mean, the Bray character was great and everything. It was creepy, but the Fiend going, from doing the Firefly Funhouse to they going to this evil Fiend character.
Yep.
All Bray Wyatt's mind was just amazing.
Yes.
And kind of creepy being the
title. Jesus, man, that was amazing.
The woods no more.
Well, what made me kind of, I ain't gonna say scared, but him coming out with that lantern that looked like a human face with the mouth wide open, I was kind of like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I had to cut the lights on. I was in the room in the dark watching it, and I was like, oh, fuck that. Cut the lights on.
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
and like, I'll get, because he's on my list, but it'll probably take 10 minutes for me to explain why, because we all know how important he was to me. And,
right.
But John, you did fantastic, man.
Shit, no, I didn't. I'd left one off. Mankind, the original first version of Mankind.
Yes.
And the reason why. The reason why is not really the way he looked, but the first handful of times we seen him, he was always sitting on the floor against the wall, rocking back and forth, pulling his hair out, making those pig squealish noises. That was just so creepy to me as a teenager. So there's my 6.
Yeah, he was definitely somebody that probably needed to be locked up in Arkham.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. But those are great picks. Isaac Yankem's a sleeper pick, and I really appreciate it. My top 5. I have an honorable mention, but I'm gonna wait till number 2 to get my honorable mention, because I can't believe y'all didn't think of this motherfucker, because he is one crazy motherfucker for real.
I'm pretty sure I got it in my head.
So my number 5 is Papa Shango. My first experience was seeing Papa Shango. Of course, I wasn't around when he debuted. But luckily, I was born in the age of social media and the network. So my first time, I heard stories about him, and I was maybe 10, 11 when I looked this up. My first experience was when the Ultimate Warrior is backstage, and he's laying on this table, and he's having convulsions, and he just starts vomiting green ooze out of his mouth.
Oh.
Projectile. And it was because of the curse of Papa Shango. I didn't want to fuck with that dude. I was like, I'm not gonna fuck with that guy. Right. So that's why he's on my list. I think Charles White in general is one of the most underrated guys in the business. From a guy who made fucking Kama work, to a guy who made Papa Shango work, to a guy
The Godfather.
to a guy who made the fucking the only person in the world that could have made the Godfather gimmick work is Charles Wright. And yeah, so he's on my list at number 5. Number 4 for me is a guy that I don't think a lot of people would have on their list for a specific reason. And I know that this is going to be a little dark take, but I'll explain why.
I already know. Go ahead, say it.
Gold Dust.
Oh, no.
Gold Dust. I have Gold Dust on this list.
Okay.
The reason I have Gold Dust on this list, Gold Dust debuted what, early to mid 90s?
95.
95. So mid 90s. Back in the mid 90s, we didn't see shit like that.
Right.
Like him over here grabbing fucking, Razor Ramon and rubbing his penis and then licking his fingers. You didn't see that back in 95. The flamboyantness, the queerishness to his character was kind of a no-no in 95.
Yeah.
So is he
Right.
scary? Not really. But is it
No.
creepy? Fuck yeah.
Well, you're gonna get creeped out if you see that.
Yeah, it's creepy. So that's why he's my number 4. Number 3 for me, and this was tough because I've changed my list around and around, but I have to go with Mankind
Mm-hmm.
for the simple reason that you guys said. I mean, he was just sick and twisted, and John said it himself. When we first saw this guy, he was sitting there rocking back and forth and in this dark hallway against this metal garage door, and he was rocking back and forth, and he was talking to himself, and he was squealing like a pig, and he was eating his own hair, and he's one sick, twisted individual. If you watch that Dark Side of the Ring episode on the Hell in a Cell match, Mick Foley should have died that night, but he didn't, because I don't think God or the devil would have had him at that point. But he's number 3 for me. Number 2 is where I'm going to bring in my honorable mention, and I cannot believe neither one of you said this motherfucker's name. New Jack.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Mm.
We are talking about a man who physically assaulted people when he wrestled them. He didn't know how to work. He went in there and beat the shit out of people. He just beat the shit out of people.
He's doing something.
And he would do crack cocaine and stuff before his matches. We're talking about a dude who told Mustafa, which he didn't use, but Mustafa, his old tag team partner in the Gangsters in ECW, was snorting pencil shavings, and he said, "That's gonna fuck you up." And then turns right around and snorts cocaine and goes out there and works, diving 50 times, and he tased the man and threw him and tried to kill him. And he admits to it. I tried to kill him. I didn't throw him hard enough. And he said, I had told Sandman that I got a taser that night. And I told him, I'm going to tase the fuck out of this motherfucker. He tases him. The guy goes, "Jack, I can't feel my legs." He looks dead at this motherfucker. No smile, no nothing. "You ain't going to need him," and throws him.
That's just hatred.
He is the craziest son of a bitch in professional wrestling history. The other number 2 I have, my actual number 2, is The Undertaker. I mean, The Undertaker is just, especially Ministry of Darkness Taker, he was on a different level back then.
Yep.
I'm historically hated on the internet when I say Undertaker was not a great wrestler, because he wasn't. He was a great character.
Great.
He was not a great wrestler. Fact check me. Every great match The Undertaker had was because of his opponent.
Yeah.
And every match that he had where he had to be the leader and the match carrier, it fucking sucked. Big example. Giant Gonzalez, WrestleMania 9.
Yes.
When he
Good.
had to be the fucking leader and pace the match, it never worked out. Mabel, any match that he was the guy that needed to be the veteran, he fucking sucked.
Undertaker and Goldberg.
Yes. Well, I blame Goldberg on that one. Can't blame Taker for that one.
I knew you would on that one.
Fuck you, Bill Goldberg. Fuck you. I'll say it till I can't say it loud enough. But my number 1, guys, and we all know who it is.
Yeah.
It's Bray Wyatt as the Fiend. I can't stress to you guys how important Bray was to me as a human being. I mean, my firstborn child's name will be Bray Christopher Carter for a reason. Um, I get emotional thinking about him because he changed my life. Because he was the guy that was never supposed to make it. He was the
Right.
fat kid from Louisiana, and you know, and he showed me that just because you're different and just because you're different than other people, case in point, doesn't mean you can't be a star. Um, and the fact that this dude, he is the greatest character in professional wrestling history. There's nobody better. No character better. From the fact that he set it up 6 years before it happened in a WWE Scary Stories video on YouTube. And the fact that this guy came out, and the fact that, like John said, he carried the severed head
Yeah.
of Bray Wyatt as his
Yeah.
lantern. There is nothing more. Even I was a grown ass adult when he debuted. It brought chills to my spine. And that to me is the definition of scary. And he is the greatest character in professional wrestling history. He's the greatest mind we've ever had. And he was definitely gone way too soon. And Bray, buddy, wherever you're at, the impact you made on my life, the impact you made on so many people's life, you are missed every single day. And you are definitely taken way too fucking soon. But that's my list. I didn't mean to get all sappy, but damn, I just miss that guy, and he meant so much to me, and I, I'll forever be grateful for what he did for me. And I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. You know, people say, "Oh, he was great," but y'all didn't say that until he was dead. You didn't appreciate what he did until he was dead. I was one of these
That's
people.
most people.
I was one of these people that watched this dude, debut in Charleston, West Virginia under the name Axel Chainsaw. And he came out in a fucking gimmicked, fucking cheap ass looking clear mask with a chainsaw. And I looked dead at my dad and mom that time. And I was 8 years old. This is when I thought wrestling was real. And I said that man will be a world champion one day. And I was right. So I'm an OG. I'm an OG. I'm not one of these people that get on the internet. Oh, he was gone way too soon. We missed. No.
That's not
he
just
is-
with wrestling. That's with
He
singers, artists.
he's
Oh yeah.
he is so underappreciated. And good God, Drew, you said they could make a movie about how creepy this dude is.
They can.
If somebody out there is a filmmaker and somebody has the talent, please make a Fiend horror movie.
Do it in the forest, though.
Oh my
Forest.
gosh.
Well, you know what kills me about Bray Wyatt is, like, for the last 2 years, I think since he died, I think that, you've seen people say, put him in the Hall of Fame, right? I'm all for it. I think, even though he didn't hold as many titles as this person, you can't look at it just in titles. Because, I mean, if that was
He's
the
the
case,
greatest character of all time.
if that's the case, take people like fucking Coco Beware out. There are just people in there that I'm like, they're in there because of the era.
I'm about to drop a bombshell.
But
Take
yeah,
Triple H out of the Hall of Fame because he didn't have a Hall of Fame career.
But yeah, I mean, you got people in
about,
there.
Talk about sleeping your way up to the top.
Yeah, he was licking the right crack, as my favorite manager of all time, Jim Cornette, would say. Yeah, man, there's so many people in the Hall of Fame that don't deserve to be. It pisses me off. How the fuck you gonna have Triple H in the Hall of Fame twice, but China has to be in there with DX and not on her fucking own?
I mean,
what? Is Brian Pillman in the Hall of Fame, by the way?
Nope.
No,
What
but
the-
he is a potential candidate for this year's group, which he should have been a long time ago. That's just me.
Well, it's just like it's like the same as I feel. It's like the same way I feel about Chris Benoit. Everybody has their views on what he did in the ring. I mean, he was
the greatest wrestler
probably
to ever live.
Yes, and yes, I get. Look, I'm a conspiracy theory kind of guy. I like listening to that shit.
I am too.
There's one floating around about that whole situation.
Kevin Sullivan. Sorry.
Correct. But again, it's just stuff we'll never know. But I wish the WWE would come off their high horse sometime. Just say, hey, you know what? He fucked up. He did really fucked up shit, quote unquote. He deserves to be in here.
I will agree with you that he belongs in the Hall of Fame, but I understand why that he's not in the Hall of Fame.
You know, they let Pete Rose into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Now, see, if my mama was still alive, she'd probably punch you in the fucking throat because you couldn't talk bad about Pete Rose. Pete Rose was
Well-
like God to her.
Well, I know,
Well-
but no, trust me, I'm completely upset that they waited so long to let Pete Rose in, because
Well,
Pete Rose, they were allowed to let him on TV. The Reds were still making money off of him for years after he quit playing, but yet they
Yeah.
can't put him in the Hall of Fame.
All because he gambled.
yeah. What's the what? Why is
Everybody
that,
gambled back then, even on their own teams. I don't care.
yeah. Why is that such a big deal? What he does when he's not on the field, who cares? As long as it's nothing. He wasn't doing anything illegal.
Now people have things like MyBookie and Sportsbook that they sponsor the shit for sports betting now. But poor
Yeah.
Pete Rose took so long to get in the Hall of Fame.
He did it for his popular.
Yeah, and I think he's still till this day the all-time hits leader.
Pete
He
Rose
is.
is in the WWE Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He fucking
He made it
deserves
to the
it.
WWE Hall of Fame before he made it to the MLB Hall of Fame. How
Yes,
sad
he,
is that?
yes, he did. I mean, dude, we could talk on and on about it. We need to do like an episode where we just talk about underrated and missed opportunities for talent. Because that could be a whole episode in its own. But I'm gonna close this special episode. Again, you guys are seeing this on Halloween night at 7 p.m. Guys, please be safe out there. There are psychopaths out there. There are real psychopaths. It's a shame. You know, growing up, I didn't have to take my candy to the hospital to go through an x-ray machine. But nowadays you do. And that's just a fact. Be safe with your kids. Watch your kids. Make sure they don't go too far. Have a great holiday. Enjoy it with your family. I know I will. I'll have the Halloween tradition of binge watching all the Halloween movies. So I will be watching all the Michael Myers movies from the first one to Halloween ends on Halloween night. We'll see you guys next Monday, of course. As you're seeing this is going out on Friday. Of course, we'll have an episode that you guys already watched where we went over the this past week's wrestling. So stay tuned. We love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. And I want to thank Drew again, my vigilante, or my peacemaker to my vigilante. And I want to thank my guy, my main man, Eddie Kingston, aka John freaking Niffen, for showing up for another episode. And this podcast is growing like crazy. We've got some good support out there. So keep it up, guys, and we'll keep posting episodes, regardless if 0 people watching, because I love doing this every week with 2 of my best friends. So see you guys next week. Hope you guys enjoy your holiday. Again, be fucking safe and be responsible. Thank you guys.
Mhm.